Hey there guys, welcome to Asset Trades. We saw a mass liquidation yesterday and Bitcoin currently sits at 70,900. There has been a little bit of demand coming on from 70,100 and we saw that the market took out the liquidity from 70,600. Now 70,000 is a psychological zone, so we may see a little bit of a short-term buyers stepping in, but to really be bullish at this point, we need to cross the 74,400. As we can see, there's a lot of distribution going on at this reason right here. Plus, Michael Saylor selling his Bitcoin has created an FUD, and this is in top of S&P 500 going all-time high. And basically, S&P 500 is squeezing all of the liquidity from the market, and with Anthropic IPO and SpaceX IPO coming up, we can easily see NASDAQ going up to maybe 8,000 before Kevin Warsh steps in on June 17. Even the NASDAQ chart, it looks really crazy. Yesterday seems to be a little bit of correction coming in, but I don't see anything stopping it at this moment because everything is basically priced in. The war doesn't seem to stop it, or the inflation doesn't seem to stop it either. So basically, S&P 500 is squeezing all of the liquidity, and it's the same for Bitcoin, right? The Bitcoin, it's basically dead at this moment, and Nasdaq is squeezing all of the liquidity from the market. And plus, with yesterday's price action, since it broke off from this parallel line, it started to accelerate. And I guess we can see a short-term movement of it stepping back in, and maybe they'll send in another step downwards to test the 60,000 zone again. But if it goes down, I think it's more likely than not that it's gonna take out the 60,000 region because there's a lot of liquidity trapped under 60,000 region as well. Now talking about momentum oscillators, we can see the same thing, right? The money flow momentum stepping in downwards, the the stochastic RSI slowly moving downwards. Even the RSI now, it's on the daily time frame, it's sloping downwards. So what does that really mean, right? So if you see the money waves going from green to red, then it's a start that there's going to be a bearish wave coming in. We can see that over and over here again. Once it clipped off the green to red, that's when you started to see the sell-off really intensifying. Then the stochastic RSI waves coming in downwards too. That caused a lot of downward momentum in the market. So that's for the daily. The weekly seems to be doing the same thing. The red dot, which signifies that the short-term stochastic RSI has crossed, will more likely accelerate the downward pressure. However, on the really short-term, market seems to be digesting really well. I guess if it comes back here and takes another wave where the stochastic RSI forms a bullish divergence, that would be a really good signal to take a short-term trade until maybe goes around this pivot region, which is the distribution region right over here. But for short term, I think the market is gonna take a little bit of breather, and it goes to test this trend line over here, and we really have to see buyers stepping in or sellers not selling aggressively from at this point. And but market basically seems to be really dead right now. The volume seems to be drying off completely, and we have seen this over and over again. Once the volume dries up, like there's one of two things. Since the stochastic momentum oscillators are heading downwards, showing downwards movement, and volatility is contracting really low, it seems like there's some kind of move brewing in the market. And from the from all of the pressures with the FUD coming in and Michael Saylor selling his Bitcoin, most likely than not, Bitcoin is heading down towards 60K region in 2 or 3 months, which may mark a cycle low if it seems to hold it. But then again, it's everything is tied towards S&P 500, and if S&P 500 starts to tank downwards, because it's in a really critical zone right now, as you can see, it's in a very critical zone. So if it starts to tank downwards, then most likely than not, it's gonna drag the whole market downwards with it too. And I guess like everyone is waiting for Kevin Warsh and what's it's gonna speak, if it's gonna be dovish or hawkish. But until June 17, I guess the market momentum on the S&P 500 is gonna go up, and Bitcoin is most likely than not go sideways. Maybe like it's gonna consolidate for some time to see like what the rest of the market's gonna be. So I guess like it's just gonna consolidate here for a short period of time until it finds some kind of resolutions in S&P 500, and most likely than not, it's gonna head downwards to take out the liquidity trapped under all of this. There's a lot of liquidity trapped on here, right? So once it sets over here, there's automatic liquidation cluster, which we saw happening just this morning. Like it once the market went here, like there was an automatic liquidation cascade. So to sum up, I think we're not likely in a local bottom yet, although like really short term the market is gonna go up, and 70K is a psychological zone, and it's gonna head down towards and test 60K in a medium time frame zone. And after that, we just have to see how price action really reacts from there, plus how the S&P 500 gonna react after June 17 and Kevin Warsh first Fed meeting. That's it, guys. Thank you.